What's up, everyone? It's DSP, and I have another YouTube channel's update. Please don't mind the sound. My dishwasher's actually running, so you'll have a little bit of noise behind me, but hopefully it won't hinder the video too much. I got a lot to cover, so first let me just start off by saying, what I've done this week and what I plan to do gameplay-wise in the future. Basically, on DSP Gaming, I have now completed my Alan Wake playthrough, the first half of which I did by myself, but then John Rambo joined me for the second half of the game. Overall, what did I think about the game? Well, I really thought that the story, the graphics, and the sound were really, really good. If anything, it was really the gameplay that fell short. A lot of repetitive stuff, a lot of repetitive enemies, constantly trying to find more weapons just to kill more enemies and go from point A to point B. The puzzle solving, some of it was cool, some of it was really repetitive. But overall, I thought the game was pretty decent. The story really could have had a better resolution at the ending, but a lot of these horror stories, that's what they're kind of go for. They leave it almost like an open-ended ending so that you can kind of imagine, or each person can imagine a different ending of what really happened. But maybe that'll change later this year when there's supposed to be more DLC for it, I believe on the 28th of June. That might actually reveal some more of the plot, but who knows. But anyway, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was definitely different from a lot of the different games that I've played before. At least it was going for something original. And so overall, I thought it was a pretty good game. Definitely not Game of the Year material, but it was still pretty original and pretty interesting. So what's coming up next? Well, if you've been following the DSP Gaming channel or the Alan Wake series, I put a bunch of notices up that basically I'm now going to be doing the Lost Planet 2 co-op gameplay with John Rambo. He came over yesterday and we got about 3/4 through the game. We do like the game a lot. However, if you've read any reviews about this game, you know about what I'm going to address right now. There is one chapter in this game that basically you have to play for like 25 minutes and then you fight a boss battle, and the game doesn't explain really how to fight this boss. And if you fuck up and you don't kill the boss the first time, you have to replay that entire 25 minutes of gameplay again to get back to the boss and have a second shot at him, and then if you fuck up again, you have to do it again. So really, for someone like me who, as you know, I don't cheat, I don't usually use strategy guides or anything to look up how to beat this kind of stuff, it was really, really frustrating. And then on top of that, this game was really made for 4-player co-op, so with only John and I playing it, the 2 computer-controlled teammates, the AI was awful. I mean, all during this fight, they pretty much ran in circles, killed themselves, did asinine things, and did nothing to really contribute to us being able to beat this boss. But besides that stage, I think for pretty much we really did like Lost Planet 2. Now keep in mind, like I said, we haven't beaten it yet. We're only about 3/4 through the game. I believe we're going to try to, within the next couple of weeks, get together again to finish it up. But anyway, that's going to be the footage that you're going to see coming up next on DSP Gaming. After that, there's a couple things I want to talk about what I'm going to be doing. But first, before I get to that, I want to address something that's been happening, especially regarding recent happenings this past week. People have been sending me repetitive messages in my inbox on YouTube. And a lot of people say, gee Phil, I know you're probably not going to see this message, but I just want to say this or that. The reason I really don't get to see a lot of people's messages is because I literally get hundreds of PMs a day from people. Now, that's fine, but it would be better if I could get, individual messages. But instead, let me give you an example. Last week, I made a video log here basically saying the DarksydePhil channel had been suspended again. Now, if you've been following along this week, you know the DarksydePhil channel was actually reinstated yet again on Tuesday or Wednesday of this past week. What happened was the copyright strikes that had been placed against the Grand Theft Auto 4 footage from last year were cleared up. So now there's only 2 strikes against the channel again, one for the Legends of WrestleMania game and one for the God of War 3 final video, which is bullshit, by the way. I really do feel that's a false claim, and that'll be cleared up pretty soon as well. But anyway, this all happened around Tuesday or Wednesday. It was announced everywhere. I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, I don't know how you could not know. People are putting comments on every one of my channels. They're putting comments on all my videos. I put stuff up about it. So yeah, the DarksydePhil channel has been back for quite some time. But perfect example, yesterday I must have gotten about 50 messages in my inbox saying, Phil, great news, the DarksydePhil channel's back. Like, that's great, I know, but I already know that. I've known that for a week. And if you've been following along with the channels all along, you would have known that. I'm not trying to be a dick, but it is kind of frustrating because for me, I really like to go through my messages at least once a week and see if there's any interesting info in there. Sometimes I do get some info about games that I wasn't aware of, or I get made aware of something, or I meet a cool new person. but I can't do that if I'm getting hundreds of repetitive messages of things that are common knowledge to everyone. Now here's another good example, okay? Originally I said I was going to play Red Dead Redemption on YouTube, but as you know, anyone who's been following YouTube this past week, everyone who's putting footage up is getting shut down, meaning all of their videos are either being removed or getting copyright strikes against them. So I've held off, and I've been putting updates all over my gaming channels. I put it up on the DarksydePhil channel that basically I'm holding off on Red Dead Redemption for now until I have basically like a plan B, which is basically probably going to be just creating an alternate channel like I did with Final Fantasy 13 and putting the footage on there just in case something like that happens to me. However, people are still every single day sending me, I swear to God, I'm getting hundreds of messages. Phil, don't play Red Dead Redemption. You're going to get copyright strikes. Phil, don't do it. We don't want the channel to go away. I'm like, I know. I've been saying that since Tuesday that I'm not going to do that. So, again, if you had followed along, if you had checked the updates, if you had read everything, you would know that. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I expect everyone to do that. But if you're going to go out of your way to send me a message, a private message on YouTube, or send me an email, because I do get emails as well outside of the YouTube private message system, do the 2 minutes of research to just look and see if anyone else has already said it or if it's already public knowledge. And a lot of these things can be easily figured out within 2 seconds. It actually takes you longer to type up the message to me than it would for you to just look on the DSP Gaming channel and say, oh look, Phil put an update that says he's holding off on Red Dead Redemption for now because there's all these copyright strikes going on. So please be a little bit more considerate and a little bit more conscious of what's going on. Again, I do like to read and try to get back to people, but it's hard for me to do that when I have hundreds of these spam email messages basically saying the same thing over and over in my inbox. But anyway, going along with that thread of thought, so what am I going to be playing next? I'm going to be uploading the Lost Planet 2 footage. Once that's completed, I'm going to do probably, I've thought about it over the past couple of days, I think I'm going to do the new Prince of Persia game, The Forgotten Sands. I have the game right here. I've been trying to decide, tossing up between that and Red Dead Redemption, and here's my line of reasoning. I think I'm going to beat Prince of Persia first because it is a shorter game. Once I beat that, then I can move on to Red Dead Redemption and really dedicate time to it. From what people have been saying, the game itself, just the main plot is 12 hours long, but it can actually be over 20 hours if you do all the optional stuff. So rather than rush through it or try to get it done, I'd like to be able to sit down and take a couple weeks to play through it on my own pace. And in addition to that, there's really not a lot of new games coming out in June. I think the only one release that I'm really interested in is the Transformers game that's coming out, War for Cybertron, near the end of the month. And then I believe the Alan Wake DLC is also at the end of the month. And there might be a Mass Effect 2 DLC in there. I'm not positive about that, but I think there is. But there's no major releases in that month. So really, I think that's a good opportunity for me to sit down and play Red Dead Redemption, try to get videos up on YouTube. If it doesn't work, worst case scenario, let's say I can't do it. YouTube keeps shutting me down, keeps giving me copyright strikes, and I can't put any footage up. At the very least, what I can do is at least like every couple days, maybe do another video log like this one and explain to you exactly what I think about the game. And you know, what I'm doing in the game, what I'm enjoying, what I'm not enjoying. And then maybe when I'm done, I could do a Hateful Truth video on the game and give it an official review. I know a lot of people will probably be looking for something like that on a longer game like Red Dead Redemption, and especially if I can't put up a full playthrough on YouTube. So we'll see what happens, but I think the schedule for now is Lost Planet 2, then Prince of Persia, then Red Dead Redemption, and I am going to make a new channel for it. I'll give you that information as it is available when I get to it, and we'll go from there. Really quick, before I sign off, I just want to let everyone know the Super Battle Opera Qualifier is still going on. I'm still planning to attend along with John Rambo and Tetsuo-san SRK, who are basically my fellow players here in Connecticut who we practice every week. I have been practicing pretty much every week whenever I get a chance on that Japanese cabinet that my friend bought. If you want details about the tournament, go to shoryuken.com and go to their forums. And in their forums, go to tournaments and events, and you'll see there's a thread there about the SBO Super Turbo or Super Street Fighter Turbo qualifiers. It'll explain where the arcade is. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing my best to qualify, and if I qualify, again, I get an official spot to represent the United States and fly to Japan and play them in a special challenge at the Super Battle Opera Tournament in September. So that's it. I know that was a lot of information in a nutshell. I hope I covered everything, and I hope it explained a lot of stuff. So talk to you guys soon.